Good evening, TikTok audience, and good evening, YouTube audience. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful, fantastic day, and happy Sabbath. As we get on to the evening, and our Sabbath ends in about 2 hours, depending on when you started your Sabbath. Mine is ending in about 2 hours, and this is my time now to talk about something that the Holy Spirit asked me to talk about, which is Zechariah 13, right? So we know that Zechariah 13 is a significant story, okay, of the cleansing from sin, cleansing from idolatry, the removal of false prophecy, and striking of the shepherd, followed by the refining of the remnant, right? So now the first thing about it is that it covers the fountain of the cleansing and removal of idolatry and false prophets, right? Which you know. Right? We know what idolatry is, and we know what false prophets is. We say it, we talk about it every day. It's all over TikTok, is all over YouTube, right? But perhaps at the most well-known verse of the chapter, it prophesies a future dawn when a fountain will be opened to the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem to cleanse them from sin and impurity, right? So the fountain is widely interpreted, right, as a symbol of God's grace and provision, right, for the forgiveness and cleansing of the sin through the atoning work of the Messiah. So it signifies a complete, readily, available cleansing of all who turn to God, right? So in other words, like I said the other day, is that the Bible, once you pick up the Bible, you lose everything. Once you decide to go that route, you lose everything, right? So you have to be able to sacrifice the things that you're used to that is make you of this world, and you need to you would sacrifice it, and it could be like your jewels and your pocketbooks and your cars and your expensive homes and things like that. Like I always say, if you pick up the Bible, you lose everything, right? So that goes to say, I understand how could you say that? And there's preachers out there, which I can't say, but you know who they are, that are worth 70 million, 80 million, and they picked up their Bible and they're rich. It doesn't make any sense. Ask yourself. I don't need to go any further, right? So basically going back, I'm sorry, I got off course. So I'm sorry to me too, because I just noticed something on my screen and it just distracted me. So please forgive me on my laptop screen and stuff. So I thank you for joining me, everybody. So we're talking about the eradication of idolatry, right? And the false prophecy, right? That's where we're going back on. So, the names of the idols will be cut off and forgotten. Like the idols of Baal and everything, all them stupid names and things like that. That will be done. False prophets and unclean spirit associated with the false prophecy and idolatry will also be removed from the land, okay? So anyone who continues to prophesy falsely will face severe consequences, right? People, because them people on TikTok be like, God told me that you're going to get, or YouTube, God spoke to me, told me that you're going to get $60,000. He told me that, and you should be getting it by the end of the week. You know what I mean? Or you saying that you saw a plane go down in a pool anyway, so anyone that continues to prophesy falsely will face severe consequences, even from their own parents, who will recognize the deceit and uphold the truth. False prophets will be ashamed of their visions and will no longer wear the distinctive garments of a prophet to deceive. I don't want to mention that name. There's a woman on here who wears a hat, who wears a shawl over her head, and she talks, and I just want, I can't say who it is, but y'all know who it is. Like I said, false prophets will be ashamed of their visions and will no longer wear the distinctive garments of the prophet to deceive, right? And they will deny their prophets and claim them to be ordinary people. So all of y'all about to get smoked out. And if asked about wounds they might have inflicted on themselves as part of false prophetic practices, they will claim they were wounded in the house of my friends, indicating a desire to conceal their past. It's a lot. Now, in regards to verse 7, in regards to the striking of the shepherd, right? This is a crucial Masonic prophecy. Like, awake, like the word awake, O sword, against my shepherd, against the man who is close to me, declares Yahuwah. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will be scattered, and I will turn my hand against the little ones, right? So the shepherd here is a widely understood to be a prophecy, right? About the Messiah, Yahusha. The praise, the man who is close to me, highlights his unique relationship with Yahuwah, right? The striking of the shepherd refers to the suffering and the death of Yahusha. The scattering of the sheep symbolizes the disciples being scattered after Yahusha's arrest, right? So the turning of Yahusha, or the turning of Yahuwah hand against the little ones, can be interpreted in many ways, including a period of testing and hardship for the followers of the Messiah after his death, right? Does that make sense? Okay. So, and then one last point in regards to verses 8 through 9. As you know, the refining of the remnant, despite the scattering of everybody, and God and Yahuwah promises to refine everything. And you know that throughout the land, the 2/3 will be struck down and perish, yet 1/3 will be left in it. Meaning that a lot of people that are not doing right will be gone, right? Of a significant judgment and loss. And the meaning of the 1/3 will be brought through the fire, refined like silver and tested like gold. This symbolizes a period of intense trial and purification, right? That Yahuwah intends to keep. Now, the result of this refining process is restored relationship, with Most High. Like he's giving you a chance to have a relationship with him. So he's putting you through the fire, cleaning you, and bringing you out. He's burning off all bad habits, burning off things that you accumulated throughout the years and then he's gonna clean, you're gonna burn your, you know what I mean? Like, what I mean burn your skin off to bone. That's not what I'm saying. Saying as far as your bad habits is going to be taken away, and these are things that he don't like about you, and he's going to take them away so that you and him, you and God or Yahuwah can have a great relationship. And then he said, they will call, on my name, right? And I will answer them, and I will say, they are my people, right? And then they will say, Yahuwah is our God, right? So this signifies a faithful remnant that acknowledges Yahuwah and is acknowledged by him. And that's it. And that's all. Zechariah 13. Thank you.